Hey guys, how's it going? We're hanging out with Mr. Jackson Ward. Jackson is from Indianapolis, Indiana. Drove all the way up for the last couple days. And we're just hanging out and cutting some drums, doing a bunch of demo stuff. And we've been working with the PAU audio mic preamps on the kick and snare, having some great luck there using the Audient ASP 880 for a lot of other auxiliary tracks and whatnot. Those sound absolutely fantastic, so easy to work with. Really happy with the drum sounds we've been getting here. Hold on, we're going to take a look at what we got here. And of course, the big thing is the snare. Tell us all about it, Jackson.
It's a Ludwig Superphonic 6.5 by 14. This is a brand new model. Glenn went and bought one actually right after I brought mine up.
Yeah.
Because he was like,
so
wow,
impressed.
That's a great sounding drum. We've got an Aquarian Focus X coated head on it. A moon gel for a little bit of dampening. And then obviously his standard mic set up with the trigger for the gate.
Actually, it's not even hooked up.
Oh, you're not even using it anymore.
Yeah, well, I kind of broke the wires on it. I haven't fixed it yet, so it's just been been using it to absorb a little bit of the ring.
And we kind of took care of the whole. We got a great snare sound today. So,
what's that little thing on the side there, Jackson?
I cannot remember the name of it, but it's
we get a close up.
Basically, it's got a little like felt pad here. And it clips onto the side of the drum. They're like $4 on Amazon.
Okay.
And you just put it on, and it kind of just it's a different alternative to the moon gel. Superphonics have a lot of ring, and I find that just really tightens things up nicely.
So for overheads, we're using the Roswell Mini K47s. Of course, these things have been absolutely spectacular. So happy with these. Way up in the corner here in the room, we've got the the Apex 210s here and here. And that's a trick I picked up from the guys at Phase 1 Studios, is getting the room mics into the back corners behind the drum set almost and way up high. And yeah, we've just been getting fantastic results. On the toms, of course, we got the MD421s, my standard, spectacular stuff. Yeah, 57 and a C4. On the snare, that we're using the Wilkinson clip, and underneath, we actually were going through some of the nail in the mix stuff, and we're stealing some of Nolly's ideas for mixing. But yeah, we're actually using judicious use of the bottom snare mic. We've just got like an Onyx i5 under there, but we're using that to pick up a lot of the ghost notes. So we're gating heavily on the top snare mic to keep the hi-hat out, but we're getting pretty aggressive with what's going on in the bottom mic. And because Jackson really likes to play a lot of ghost notes, and a lot of the times those ghost notes will get lost in my mix. So I'm actually using a heavily compressed room mic and some pretty heavy processing on the bottom snare mic to work with the ghost notes, and that seems to be working extremely well.
Phenomenal. It sounds exactly how it should.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's like, hey, finally figured that little trick out. Okay, excellent.
Very nice. Thought I'd bring my 24-inch by 14 Ludwig American Classic Maple kick. The Ludwig snare seemed to go really well, and over the summer I purchased this drum for recording actually, because it sounds so great. Okay, so on the kick here we've got the coated Power Stroke 3.
Show them the beater.
The beater is DW stock beater. I use felt. I do not use the Flam Slam because personally I just don't know that it really works that well with this type of head. It gets a little too clicky for my taste, but to make up for the lack of attack and that plasticiness that you kind of get with the patches and the plastic beaters that we usually use, we're using a Shure Beta 91A inside the kick, halfway through the kick on a pillow. So that mic really makes up for the lack of kind of attack that you would normally get from our kick setup we usually use with the DW kick. So I like this. It feels much different to play, but the heavier beater you get much more power. And with felt, you can get way more dynamic. You can play softer, and you don't have this nasty clickiness that I find when you're hitting softly. You'll notice that when you're playing a normal clear drum head with a plastic beater, if you hit it softly, it's just this plasticky click with not much low end. But in this case, you get a much warmer, rounder sound. So that's why I've been using that on the kick, and it's turned out great today.
So tell us all about the cymbals here, Jackson. What are we doing here?
Recently acquired some Zildjian K Customs. This is actually their custom organic ride. It's a 21-inch cymbal. It's kind of a raw, natural finish on top and a brilliant underneath, if you can maybe see that.
Here, flip that under. Oh, fuck, look at that.
And that leads to a ride that's really good for crashing because it doesn't get too bright, but it still has some top end to it. Just really cool symbol, a lot of definition.
Okay.
Great. So crashes, we're using the medium thin dark K custom crashes. These sit really well in a mix. Of all the cymbals I brought up here, these ones have been the best sounding. Yeah, you know, there are great cymbal companies out there that make cymbals that personally I find only work well in a drum-focused environment. They might be a little too dark or trashy, and they don't really sit in a mix well in comparison to...
Now, what do you mean by how they fit in a mix?
I mean, they take up the frequency range where your vocal and your guitar might be sitting, and they don't gel within the mix well. I like cymbals that kind of sit on top naturally.
Yes,
These do.
And these do, yeah. Okay, cool.
And K Custom, just normal K Custom 14-inch hi-hats. I mean, they're a standard.
Yeah, and they're very sweet.
Yep, they just sound great.
I got to say, yeah, Zildjian, I think, did a wonderful job on the cymbals here. They do mic up beautifully. They're so very, very soft sounding. I've got a set of the A Brilliants, and they are a little harsh for this room because it's a very bright drum room I have. Mm-hmm. So I might be looking to darken up my cymbals at some point. So yeah, I would I would love to get my hands on a set of these. Also, what was the big surprise there for you?
Big surprise here this weekend was that I tracked for 2 days pretty solid. I probably these were fresh when I got them. I probably put
what are
8
they?
hours of time on them. They're Los Cobos 5Bs. And they're like
they're the rock size, right?
Yeah, they're almost the rock size.
Now, who gave you those?
They're heavy. TJ let me borrow these, and because he just got a deal with them as well as Glenn. These sticks are incredible because most times when I'm tracking for that period of time, I go through 4 or 5 pairs of sticks from other companies, and they usually charge $9-10 a pair. That's $50 for a weekend of tracking. If I'm being conservative with the sticks and how hard I'm hitting. These are 1 pair after the weekend, and I can tell you there's probably a week left in this. So as you know, I rim shot a lot. That's why we get good snare sounds usually, and consistently. And that is really hard on sticks. That's why I break them. These, on the other hand, barely starting to splinter after 2 days of solid rim shots. And up here at the taper, where I'm hitting the cymbals, just starting to get chewed up. So these really hold up well. They're really balanced, which I'm really picky about that. And they just seem to be matched well. So I love these sticks so far. I mean, they've been really great. I haven't even touched the ones I brought with me, and I have a brick of them in my car. So.
Oh, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
So those are Los Cabos. Are those the hickory? What are those?
These I think are the red intense. That's what they're called. I'm not sure exactly what wood this is, but.
We're going to cut to Jackson warming up on the kit because this was kind of fun. This is called Ah Fuck by Jackson.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this episode. If you like the content, please support the channel either at my SMG shop or through my Patreon. If you want to see more, hit one of the playlists. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here.